Hey friends, it's the Tuesday before this week's wedding, but one is a pickup for Thursday morning because it's a Friday wedding, and the other is a pickup for early Friday morning. So that means I really need to get harvesting. So the two weddings this weekend thankfully have like fairly different color palettes. One, we're thinking like mostly like a sunflower, white, little bits of blue. It's gonna be really pretty. I did a wedding like it before a couple years ago, and the bride's bouquet looked like this. And then the other one, it's really important to them to have like as many wildflowers as possible. So, and they're not like a super firm on color palette. So I'll be harvesting a lot of those this evening or tomorrow morning. And I just want to concentrate on the stuff in the garden area because it is really smoky out. And while it's probably still not a good idea to be outside a ton in the acreage, at least it feels like not as bad as when I go out into the city and breathe that air. It feels like maybe all the trees that we have around here do help a little bit. So anyway, as usual, it's a busy weekend, so let's get to it. So one thing I'm nervous about with this weekend's weddings is that the temperature is absolutely scorching, especially by prairie standards. We've got like 32, 34 degrees Celsius in the forecast, and like that's just so hard on flowers, and especially for things like boutonnieres where you're wearing them. So it's not only like the heat outside, it's your body heat, and then like getting absolutely trashed by people hugging you. I mean, that's just kind of normal at weddings, but yeah, it does make it a little challenging. The Russian tarragon is at a spot where I like to pick them now. So when they start getting these little balls on them, then they're finally a little more heat tolerant. I often will use them early in the spring because it's one of the first greens that's available. But when I use them then, they're definitely floppy. So if it's not cool out, you can't use them, but they're so pretty. For once, I don't need my pinks and peaches, so I can like finally let these floret zinnias age, and like I see why. This is so pretty. I'm so grateful for breeders like Floret and Windfall for making like these really gorgeous zinnias in colors that are actually useful to us. And with these new colors, I find actually my biggest problem is that I just need them for every wedding. So I'm super impatient and like don't want to wait to cut them. It's just nice having good colors. It's nice being in flowers. I'm just like trying to store this up for winter because I know like as soon as the winter gets here, you know, I'm getting better every year at trying to like, I don't know, just enjoy winter, embrace the season, but still I definitely go through this part of the year and think to myself, like, just soak it up. Soak it up. You're going to need this in winter. Hello there, Kristen from the future again. So normally when I'm making bouquets, I'm doing it for happy occasions like weddings or anniversaries or maybe a new baby or something like that. But unfortunately this time I'm making flowers for a funeral. This is someone who's a bit more of an acquaintance to me, but we're really good friends with the family, and she's younger than me, so like that always hits extra hard. And it sometimes feels like flowers are just, you know, how can they compare to the losing of a child? But you know, I want to do something and I want to share beauty somehow, so I decided to make this bouquet. We're at Thursday morning of the pickup, and as usual, nothing has gone according to plan. I lost basically all day yesterday. I needed to go to a funeral. I definitely debated not going to this funeral, but in the end I just felt like no, I really had to be there and show up and support that family. So it is what it is, right? Such is life, and I guess death. But we are here, everything is sorted. Chastity worked really hard while I was gone to make sure that as much could run smoothly as possible. So let me tell you a little bit about this bouquet. So I kind of made it in rainbow-ish order. We're starting with some Queen Anne's lace. I had a little bit of baby's breath, a tiny bit I can't tell if this is the feverfew or if this is the pearl yarrow, but it's one or the other. Chastity found this and I'm kind of in love. We have a few really giant rudbeckia. We have some smaller rudbeckia. We have goldenrod. We have sunflowers. I'd hoped to give my bride a little bit more sunflowers, but they are just slow this year. So hence why we've got more of this going on. We have forget-me-nots, delphiniums, clover, sagebrush, and cress. I'd really wanted to use my white snapdragons, but when I took a good look at them, they just really didn't look nice and just not passing the cut for a bridal bouquet. So let's make this thing. Everything just kind of feels so crazy right now. I'm just really running behind. I sent Chastity out to pick up the girls from camp because I feel like there is no way I'm going to be done on time for my bride. If I don't, it also started raining a little bit, so I put up the tent. Like, this is just short because it's just to like throw flowers under just in case it starts to rain. And I'm dripping sweat, like drenched in sweat. It is so humid, so hot, muggy, smoky, all the things. And like us northern gardeners, we don't do well with that. We're just not used to the heat. So it all feels like a little bit much, but we'll get it done. Right, so Chastity and I divided everything up for this next wedding. Oh, hi, Mama Cat, you have to join us. And I just realized I didn't have a focal flower. And I looked in my garden, I looked at my zinnias, and the lilies didn't seem like the right kind of pink. And the bee balm is purple, but it's just like not far enough. So I had to run into the city and get some stuff wholesale. But I found these really, really beautiful roses. So one type is like more of a dusty lilac, and then the other one is basically almost white but has like a purple center. So I think these will be absolutely perfect. Of course, you know, I always want to use all my own stuff or all Saskatchewan grown whenever possible, but like no one has flowers right now, or like we have flowers but we don't have what we should for the end of July. So thank you, wholesale. Morning, YouTube. It is 6 a.m, but I was just so tired yesterday. You just could not will me to finish those bouquets. I needed the rest, and I think my kids just sort of needed me to snuggle and be with them. So we are up early, Adam. I feel exhausted, but my trick to life is when you feel the most exhausted, just, put on your prettiest dress and somehow that will just propel you forward, or at least make it look to other people like you are awake and put together, even when you are not. Anyway, so this morning we are going to finish the wedding. I have 2 bouquets to make for a friend. I'm doing a little trade for bread. And I guess I could start on my 3rd order, get her buckets ready, but that just might wait till later today. But let's go see if the garden gave us any surprises. Did I say in the clip before how grateful I am that we get a little bit of a break from the heat wave? It's still going to be plus 25 today, but right now it's only plus 13 and it's so cool this morning, and it just feels like such a treasure. Pretty decent, and there's a few more treasures out there that I can really use for this wedding. I am finishing up, so this is good. And of course, my children are awake at 6:30 when usually they sleep until 7:30. They always know. Hey friends, Kristen from the future here. Well, I guess the present when I'm editing. So I think I was so tired that I gave absolutely no clip or context to how the weekend went and did the bride like it and anything else like that. So let's do that now. So thankfully the bride loved her flowers. She looked so gorgeous with them. Things just kind of went downhill from here. I don't think I said anywhere in the recording earlier on, but I'm pretty sure my husband was gone at this point. He was working up north, so it was just me at home alone with the kids. And so that made everything 10 times harder than it normally is. And then we had this crazy storm, which took out some things, and I'll tell you about that right now. Morning, YouTube. So last order, just have to get off the 2 buckets of blooms and the corsage. They're coming for pickup at 10 today, so I've got some time, but I still better hurry because, I got to still feed the animals, water everything, all the typical morning chores. But there's something I wanted to show you. So yesterday, when I was going through the garden, I was actually pretty confused because it looked like something had trampled over a bunch of my plants, but just sort of in one area. And I then realized it was the wind. The wind was so powerful yesterday, it just really wrecked some stuff. So let me show you. So this is what I first saw, and it confused me because in my mind, this could have been animals, but I have cats and chickens. I don't have anything big enough to do that kind of particular damage. And then, so these are all kind of fine. Then over here, my dahlias, there's some of them that are these were straight. Not looking so good. Even the zinnias, well, okay, the zinnias I feel have rebounded a bit. But look at the lean on these zinnias that was not there before. And then this particular set of sunflowers, which honestly are pretty damaged, by the way, already from grasshoppers or other pests. So I'm not exactly crying about this set, but just crazy. And I guess I've never really staked a lot of stuff because we're so protected in the acreage that I just felt I can usually get by, but I guess lesson learned, I cannot get by. Kristen from the future again. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed this episode and the next episode, and that I'm able to keep editing these really quickly so you can join on the year's journey with me. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.